Yes guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. Today, the Premier League fixtures for the 2021-2022 season have arrived. They are here. This season feels like it's getting closer. It's still miles away. We've still got pretty much 2 months until the season begins. But the season has technically started. The transfers will slowly but surely start to come in. Managers will start to be set in stone. And yeah, it's all very, very exciting. Today, I'm going to be reacting to the fixtures that have been announced. I've seen them already. But yeah, I'm going to be going through our fixtures and sort of our rivals and kind of compare them and see how I think it will affect the season. Before we get into today's video, massive shout out to the sponsor of today's video, One Football. Go and check them out if you haven't already. It's the #1 football app for all things Man City, all things Euros, all things Premier League. Download it, you can select your favourite team, your favourite country, and you'll be able to get all the latest scores, all the latest stats, as well as transfer news as that comes in around City. So there's a lot of news coming on recently, stuff like Harry Kane to City. You can keep up to date on the app as well. Personally, I've been finding it really useful to keep up to date with all the Euro games, especially when you're not able to watch them all. Just keep your notifications on, turn your notifications on for the Euros, and you'll be notified every time there's a goal and stuff. So it's very, very useful. Make sure to download it. The link is in the description, so make sure to go and download it. Also, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's try and hit 100 likes on today's video for the new season. But yeah, let's get on into the video. We start with the Manchester City fixtures, and on the whole, I have to say I'm quite satisfied with what we have got. We start the season away to Tottenham. Slightly disappointing. It's a difficult game as well. It's away from home. You always like to start the season at home, I think. We've not had this since Guardiola's first season when we were at home to Sunderland, beating them 2-1, Paddy McNair last minute own goal. But yeah, we start away from home once again. The last time we started away from home in North London was the 18-19 season. We did go on to win the league that year. That was also a year where we attempted to retain a title. We did so successfully. Hopefully that's a good omen. I've not been to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and I'm not going to lie, the fact that it's away first game of the season pretty much rules out any chance of getting tickets for that one, simply because the first game of the season is always going to go mega quickly. This is obviously assuming we get full capacity crowds and away fans. The Premier League have said they want that, but we don't know for 100% what the government are going to say. The positive is, though, although we didn't get the first game at home, the last game is at home, and this is the most important one. Villa at home on the last day of the season, meaning if we do win the league, we will 100% see the trophy lift, as we either win it early and lift it on the last day, or we win it on the last day. Like we have done a fair few times. I think we've done that, 3 times. We did it against Brighton, against West Ham, and against QPR. Other positives to note are we got the second Manchester derby at home, so that'll be close to the summer. It's not quite as late as you'd hope. Normally I like the Manchester derby at home to be in April. This one's in March, it's the 5th of March. Also the second home Liverpool game, this is a better date, this is the 9th of April. That is at home as well. We've also got Boxing Day at home, which is a day that I always like to have at home. We've not got New Year's Day at home, that is away, but I mean, on the whole, we've generally got most of the important games at home. Going on to key dates, I mean, we've already pretty much gone over them. But yeah, Spurs away, that is the first day of the season. That's the key date to put in the diary. Then derby days, we've got the 6th of November at Old Trafford and the 5th of March at the Etihad. I think that's pretty much the same date. I think that might actually be exactly the same date as we had the derby on this year. Obviously, no one got to go to one this year. The last time we had a Manchester derby at home was sort of early December 2019. So I'm looking forward to going to that one. Liverpool, we go to Anfield on the 2nd of October. Yet to win there with fans in my lifetime, but we did break the Anfield curse, technically, I guess, in February this year. Hopefully we can win in front of a full Anfield this time. And yeah, like I said earlier, they come to the Etihad on the 9th of April. Good time for me, especially if they're in a title race and we're with them. I think that could be a very, very exciting game. Also, another title challenger, Chelsea. We play them on the 25th of September at Stamford Bridge. They come to the Etihad on the 15th of January, so that could be a bit of an early title decider. Potentially, who knows, if both teams find themselves in a title race. And then also, as I said earlier, we do have Villa at home on the last day. Going for a bit more in detail, I would say the start is probably one of the most difficult points we're going to have all season. If we finish the first 7 games within 3 points to the top spot, then in my opinion, we're good to go. A lot of tricky games in there. We've got to play Leicester, we've got to play Arsenal, we've got to play Tottenham, we've got to play Chelsea, and we've got to play Liverpool, all in the opening 7 games. And so, if we start well, we are like proper good to go. Equally, we could find ourselves quite far behind the rest after the first 7 games, which I mean, this season was the case, and we did come back, although I don't think it'll be quite the same next season or this season, how you want to describe it. But yeah, it's crucial that we start well this season. December has actually been very, very kind to us. On the whole, Christmas is obviously normally a very, very difficult time, and you do normally want the easiest fixtures possible because of how shortly condensed the games are. And on the whole, we've actually been given a pretty kind December. None of the big 6 or Leicester in that period. Going into January, it's a slightly difficult little patch. We've got Arsenal and Chelsea back to back, although there will be an FA Cup game in between there. I'm not too concerned about that period. I think, obviously, Arsenal, I don't know how good they're going to be. But I think Chelsea will definitely be a big game, but the fact that there's an FA Cup game in between will make it a little bit easier. We do also have a little tricky patch sort of in February, March time, that sort of crossover period, where we have Spurs, Everton and United back to back to back. Very, very reminiscent sort of that February period we've had in quite a few of our top wins actually. In the 2021 period last season, we had a February that had like Tottenham, Everton, Liverpool, and then we had United in March, and we had like West Ham. That was very difficult. And in 18-19, we had that patch where we had Arsenal, Everton, Chelsea back to back to back. That was very big for us winning the league that year, and I've got a feeling if we go on to win the league this year, that patch could be very, very similar. And then after we played Liverpool on the 9th of February, I would say our final 6 games are all very, very winnable. And I would expect us to probably get 18 out of 18, assuming we're still in the title race at that point. Now moving on to the rivals, I'm going to start with Liverpool. I said we had quite a difficult start. Liverpool started very easy, and I'd be very, very surprised if they didn't get nearly maximum points from the first 7 or so games, bar the Chelsea game that they have early on. And then they play us, I think, after 7 games. I think that's matchday 7, that one. So yeah, up until that point, I'd be surprised if they don't have maximum points, maybe bar 1 draw sort of in there just before they play us. And then fingers crossed, it'll be very important that we beat them. So yeah, I expect them fully to have a flying start. They then have a few tricky games in the last 6. And their Christmas period also is not too kind to them. They've got Spurs, Leeds, Leicester and Chelsea all over that Christmas period. So do not be surprised if Liverpool really start to struggle unless they fully bulk up their squad this summer, because that period, in a short condensed time, there's no way they get full points from that. Especially playing teams with intensity like Leeds, like Leicester and like Chelsea. I'd be surprised if they get more than 7 points in that 12-point period. Next on our rivals list, Man United. They've got Leeds on the first day, which could be a very entertaining game. That's match of the week for me. I think that could be very entertaining. I did not expect them to put such a big game on the opening day. There's plenty of good games. Us versus Spurs and United Leeds should both be exciting. United have a generally quite easy start, but then it hits them October, November, and my God, is this period tricky for them. They go and play Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, Spurs, City, Watford, Chelsea, Arsenal, all straight back to back against each other. And my God, they could be completely out the race at this point, or they could be well and truly contenders. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, at this point they find themselves more than double digits behind the top spot, which will hopefully be us, or at least we'll be double digits clear of them. Because if they do come out of that period well, although they might get a bit of a lead before that, I've got a feeling this could be when they capitulate. This could be the end of our lay, in my opinion. After that though, because they have such a difficult period, they then have an easy Christmas as well as an easy start. They do, however, have a very difficult March against. They got a few periods of difficulty. In that March period, they got City, Spurs, Liverpool, Leicester. Again, I'd be surprised if they get more than 6 points from that. And then they have an easy end to the season, except from Chelsea in the penultimate game, which fingers crossed they will lose. Unless Chelsea are in a title race with us, in which case, who knows, we may even find ourselves supporting Man United. And then that brings on finally to Chelsea, the team that beat us in the Champions League final. Very, very much in the race for a Premier League title this year. They found themselves, 4 years without one now, since Conte won it in 2017. And they'll very much back themselves after a successful second half of the season under Tuchel. They've got a tricky start to the season. They've got Arsenal, Liverpool, City and Spurs inside 6 games. So similarly to us, they might find themselves a little bit behind. They will mainly be looking, though, to make sure they're within that 3-point gap of top spot after that period. In January, they have Liverpool and City, which will be 2 massive, massive games. In my opinion, us, Chelsea and Liverpool are the 3 teams that will mainly be going for the league title this year. So that could be a very, very big period in terms of where the title ends up. If Chelsea can win both of those games, then you've got to say they're probably going to be in quite a good position for the title. They also have Spurs in this period. And then from Marchish period, they've got a pretty easy run in. Bar United, they've got a few okay games like Leeds and Everton there. But Bar United, their final run in from April and May, you'd expect them to pretty much win them all. And so really, if we want to win the league, we've got to be a decent way ahead of them. At least 5 points, in my opinion, going into that period. Anyway, that is all for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the predictions. Let me know early, maybe season predictions. I'll be making my predictions in probably about a month and a half. Obviously, a long, long way to get with transfers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all for me today. Make sure to leave a like I said at the start of the video. Let's try and hit 100 likes on today's video. And subscribe if you haven't already. We are slowly but surely approaching 16k. And hopefully we can hit that before the start of the new season. Like I said at the start, make sure to download One Football. The link is top of the description. And yeah, that's all for me today. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. And I will see you guys then. Goodbye.